everyone, and welcome to the Daily HUD. My name is Dom, and joining me is our new host, Robin.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Today we're going to be taking a look at Hearthstone, Apex, Starcraft, and PUBG before we get into our large discussion about some of the bigger esports that's happening this weekend with the NA LCS semifinals. And afterwards, we were also going to take a look at Overwatch League. Stage 2 is coming back after a handful of patch changes. But first, let's get into our first big update that is newsworthy for the time being. Hearthstone. We've got the new expansion, Rise of Shadows, coming out this weekend on next Tuesday. The pre-release is starting right now. So if you want to get a chance to go ahead and go to some of those pre-release events, those fireside gatherings, build those new wacky decks with lackeys and schemes to get some really, really crazy combinations, go ahead and head over to hearthstone.com and find a fireside gathering near you for a chance to play that.
Are you looking into any new cards for the new expansion pack?
I mean, Hearthstone, I grew up playing Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! So
Okay.
Hearthstone is fun for me, but it's not my game.
It's not your type of game.
Yeah. But still, though, that's not our only big announcement. We've also got some Apex news.
Yes, so we do have Apex Legend news. Recently they just released a patch 1.1. Right, and so it was just a few minor bug fixes, nothing too major. But unfortunately, there came a big bug within the bug fix.
Yeah.
Right, so players' accounts have been transferred to different regions in different servers. So because of that, most players have lost their progress, and it was easily fixable though. They were able to, shut down the servers and bring back everything back to normal. So in case you're wondering and you're worried about your account, all servers are back live, and there's no problem. You can go back and drop with your mates.
I was hoping to actually drop in yesterday, and I saw that the servers were down, and as we saw in the news, that ended up being resolved relatively quickly. So big kudos to Respawn for recovering very, very quickly.
Oh, definitely,
but
very
it
quickly.
also opens a bit of a conversation about Apex as a whole. It's still a relatively young game. It came out with the one map. It came out with a handful of heroes, more as a proof of concept, and it kind of did what the Division did. It said, we're here, we've got the rough proof of concept. We don't have a huge depth of content, which the Division 2 very clearly does have in the looter-shooter genre, but it's clear that they're working towards it. I'm still keeping my eyes on whether or not they'll have the spectator client or the custom lobbies for actual competitive Apex.
Yeah, I think that will be coming soon because, with these custom lobbies, it has to be a must because now we're getting a big tournament search for Apex Legends. But of course, the game is still relatively new. Respawn is still getting their feet wet within the Battle Royale mode. And, this is mostly, I think it was told that this is like a Titanfall 2 type of thing.
I mean, that's what we wanted. That's what I wanted it to be, because I played a lot of Titanfall 2 way back in the day.
Oh,
I guess not even that far back in the day. Yeah. But still, we could talk about that for all the time. We've actually got to turn our attention towards the esports that's going to be happening this weekend. First, taking our look at Starcraft, the GSL Code S Semifinals. We saw our first one happen on Wednesday afternoon. That was Classic versus Dark, with Classic advancing to the grand finals. Now, tomorrow on Saturday, or midnight Friday Eastern time, 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, for those of you who can't quite figure out midnight like me, we get our next semifinal, and that is going to be Maru versus Trap. Now, these two players are teammates. They're part of the same parent organization, so we can assume that they've been scrimming against each other a whole lot. However, Maru is the current 3-time GSL Code S champion. He won all 3 of the regular season. GSL Code S from 2018, and now he's coming into the first GSL of 2019, looking very, very strong. And Trap, this is his first top 4. He's never made it this far before. So while our attention might be saying, hey, Maru's going to take this pretty handy, Trap has been playing with him. He's been scrimming with him. His desk is probably in the exact same player practice room as Maru. You can just turn around and look and see his builds.
You can tell that this is a really big David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one hell of a match.
Except David and Goliath grew up together and are actually best buds, and now they have to fight.
Now they have to fight. Now they're being forced to. Is like, you gotta be the best. You gotta take down your brother.
The eternal esports story. But now we still have even more announcements with PUBG.
Yes, the PUBG European League enters its final week, right? So all eyes are expected to be on the top 3 team, which so far seem to be ENCE, Team Liquid, and G2 Esports. I don't know about you, but my money is always going to be on Team Liquid.
Yeah.
So I got to put my money on the on the big horse
Yeah,
here.
ENCE, they're number 1 in points, but they're also number 1 in kills.
Right.
While their overall point standing is a little bit variable depending on their finishes, they get the most kills. And at the end of the day, getting the chicken dinner means that no other team is left standing.
Yeah, right.
So if that's the one skill you want to focus on, ENCE have got that down. My dark horse is going to be TSM. Obviously, they've got the backing of the huge TSM organization, but if you look at the points, they're 5th overall. However, they are 3rd in kill points. I believe they were 3rd as of the time of filming this. So if they continue to get kills, they can give ENCE a run for their money, and then they just need a couple of 1st, 2nd place finishes to springboard them up into 1st and 2nd place and start competing for the top of the leaderboard. But still, that's PUBG. That's going to be happening from Thursday to Sunday. Now we get to turn our attention towards the big dogs.
Yeah.
The NALCS, or I suppose just the LCS at this point, are entering their semifinals, while the Overwatch League is entering Stage 2.
Yeah, we got some big matches for the LCS coming up this weekend, where we got TSM versus Cloud9, a big rivalry, especially since Season 3. And now we have
6 years.
6 years, a big rivalry, and they're still going at it. They're not going down. And then Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. Now, we want to turn our attention first to the TSM versus Cloud9 game. It's anyone's game at that point.
Yeah.
Because we got 2 big giants who don't even have any faults. What are your thoughts on Team Liquid going in? I mean, TSM going in.
Well, I mean, Team Liquid chose FlyQuest as their opponent as they were the higher seed, which means to me that Team Liquid were more scared of TSM, making them the stronger opponent. Not to mention, as I said earlier, with the PEL, TSM is a massive organization. They've got huge backing. They've got years of experience, all of it coming from the original League organization with Reggie way, way back in the day. But looking at the current lineup of TSM, my eyes are going to be on the Burger King himself in the mid lane and Sven in the bottom lane. I still think that those are 2 very effective, very experienced players that can communicate on a level that hopefully can lead TSM to victory, but it's not going to be super clear cut. TSM to me are the favorites, but you've got that wild card Cloud9 factor.
But you also have to take into a factor that during the regular season, you know, TSM has had this huge victory streak during the second half of the season, right? But they could not take a game off Cloud9 at all, ever.
Yeah.
So Cloud9 has that up on TSM that they have the number, especially during the regular season. Maybe during the playoffs, TSM might be different. They might have a different play style, right? But my eyes right now are onto the jungler and the top lane for both teams. So I'm looking at Team Solo Mid's Arcadian and Broken Blade going up against Licorice and Svenskeren.
Yeah.
So right now, Broken Blade has been a major, major factor for TSM. Going in and giving them the plays, especially towards the top lane, because most of the top lanes that have gone up against TSM have been turned, in matter of fact, useless.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure that Svenskeren and Broken Blade have been given to him, in either Cloud9 or TSM.
Yeah. And again, you do have Svenskeren previously of TSM.
Yes.
Now playing against the former
organization.
He knew the secrets perhaps back in the day. But sure, that top lane and jungle have been very exciting. They have also been very large playmakers over the course of the current meta in League. Junglers have been absolutely instrumental over the past few weeks. Who do you have for this?
For this, I feel like this is going to be a close series. No matter what, it's going to be a 3-2, but my money is going to be on Cloud9.
Really? You think Cloud9's going to take it?
Cloud9's going to go back into the finals.
Ooh, that sneaky factor. What's he going to cosplay if?
Well, I mean, recently we just got Sneaky Kitty.
We did.
Sneaky Kitty back then. Who knows? Who knows what he's going to be cosplaying?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be getting.
Yeah. For those of you who are a fan of Sneaky cosplays, you can head on over to his Patreon and vote for whatever he's going to be cosplaying towards next. But still, there is that wild card C9 factor. They went to Worlds in their very first split of existence. They've been around for years. They always seem to find a way. What was it, the Miracle Run in 2017?
Yeah, they've always been the team, the only team from North America to make it out of groups.
Exactly.
The other 2 teams just fall flat in their faces. Cloud9 is the only one that gets it out of group. Yeah. But just recently, I think in the last year's World, they were able to make it at least to the semifinals or the quarterfinals.
It's all blurring together.
I think it's the semifinals
Yeah.
because then I think they were taken out by Fnatic.
Yeah.
And the old Fnatic
Upset.
tier of
Yeah.
the goddess,
Oh yeah, the tears of Cloud9 might be spilled, or it could be the tears of TSM. Still though, we have to look towards the more difficult matchup of the two: FlyQuest versus Team Liquid. This is going to be an uphill battle for FlyQuest. Everybody knows it.
Yes, definitely. Now this one you could say this one's a really true David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
But the thing is that FlyQuest does have a little bit of an up towards Team Liquid because recently in the last Team Liquid match, they defeated them.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a clean win, but it was a win. It was a win.
Yeah.
But Team Liquid so far, at the end of the second half of the split, they looked pretty weak. Mm-hmm. But it's to say that maybe it's because they already secured their first place seed that they just slacked off for a little bit to play around with a few comps and a few metas.
Yeah, I think that's the conversation that we keep hearing online as well, is that Team Liquid is great. Very clearly, they're the best team coming into the playoffs, but maybe a little bit of complacency. They know they're the best, so maybe they're not practicing as hard, maybe they're not refining new strategies, or maybe the meta could just slowly be shifting away from them over time. This match, to me, is going to be the big test for Team Liquid. Do they have what it takes to keep moving forward? I
think so too, but we also have to put into factor that Team Liquid also have one of the weakest links in the current bracket in Xmithy.
Yeah.
Xmithy has been sort of not a big liability, but has been something that has.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's something that has caused Team Liquid to go down in the games that they played. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering how things will factor in with Xmithy now. Like I said, maybe it could be just Team Liquid saying that they don't care. They already got their first place seed, so we could just play around with the new comps, new metas, and all that, and prepare for the playoffs. But now the question is, will this be the same Team Liquid from the second half of the split?
Yeah.
Or are we going to get the original Team Liquid, the refined, unstoppable monsters that we know them for?
You've got Jensen, you've got Doublelift, you've got Core JJ, you've got Impact. You take Xmithy out of the equation, these are still 4 of the all-star players for the NALCS as a whole.
Right.
These are hugely experienced players. Impact, the world champion. Doublelift has been around for years and is still in excellent form.
He's the king of NA.
Exactly. But hey, we could keep talking about Team Liquid forever. We got to turn our attention a little bit towards FlyQuest at the very least. Right. They did come into this matchup on a 3-2 victory.
It was a close series.
Which was very close, but ultimately it was Pobelter who closed it out on Zoe in Game 5 last weekend. If he continues that fire coming into Team Liquid, that's something that Jensen has struggled with for a very long time. When playing against opponents who are passionate, Jensen is cold and is calculating, and he breaks people apart through repeated pressure from wearing them down just by constantly being annoying. But when you're passionate, that has no effect on you. It's that inner fire that allows you to push through all of the odds. And Pobelter found that in Game 5. If he can continue to lead the rest of the team, especially with Wild Turtle, that could certainly be an opportunity, an avenue for them to play through.
But Pobelter was on Team Liquid at one point.
Oh,
so
sure.
So he's like, I gotta beat my old team
he's
to
been in the league for years at this point.
Get bragging rights,
Yeah.
But also on FlyQuest, I want to talk about Santorin.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in a playoff since he was on TSM 3 years ago, and now if you check, he said that he was passionate about this, that he's glad he made it this far. The man even broke down in the middle of the interview.
Yeah.
So my eyes, at least my eyes, are going to be on him, seeing how he performs, seeing how he will turn out, and seeing how he will benefit FlyQuest against Team Liquid.
Yeah, and this always seems to be the Santorin story. During the regular season, when the matches aren't super high stakes, he plays well. He has good performances, but once the weight starts to settle in of quarters, semis, finals, international competitions, he starts to crumble and crack a little bit under that pressure. So maybe this is the organization that can help him pull through that, especially when you bring in Wild Turtle and Pobelter, who've been having such a great job, and the rookie Viper in the top lane, breaking out the Aurelia, breaking out some stellar carry performances in their last set last weekend. We really do need to keep our eyes on Santorin.
Definitely have to keep eyes on Santorin.
Yeah, he had a good performance, but hey, that's the jungle matchup. What do you have for it?
I gotta go with Team Liquid. I have to go with Team Liquid. I don't want to count FlyQuest out either, so I'm probably going to have to give it to a 3-1 standing.
Okay.
I don't want to make it too close.
Think they're going to take a game?
I think they're going to take a game, but I don't think they're going to get immediately like wrecked. But it won't be like a full-out stop.
Sure.
You know? So,
okay.
But it won't be close either.
Okay. So then, Team Liquid, I think I'm in the same boat. I would love to see it if we get the FlyQuest upset, but Team Liquid just looks so strong right now.
I just feel like we're going to get the Team Liquid Cloud9 final rematch again that we did for like last time.
That would be spectacular
Yeah.
if we actually get a chance to see that. Now we can turn our attention towards Overwatch.
Yes.
Starting
finally.
back up, yeah.
Overwatch Stage 2, we're now getting Baptiste into the competitive scene now. Now, this is the big question is, what will happen to GOATs, to the GOAT comp? So, if you're an Overwatch player like me, you're just tired of seeing GOATs everywhere. It's like, it's GOATs everywhere, GOATs in competitive, GOATs in quick play, GOATs in the Overwatch League. It's horrendous to keep seeing this. But now that Baptiste is out, how will this change the meta and the comp coming into this new stage?
I mean, we're going to find out, right? A lot of pro players are excited for Baptiste because he is that hybrid support offense, the defense offensive character. He can fill sort of that versatile middle role, that middle ground. I think ultimately it's going to come down to a larger meta shift because with the competitive changes coming into this stage, stage 2, we're also seeing a nerf to armor. You now take armor damage before shield damage, which universally scales tanks back a little bit. So some more incentive for high DPS characters like Tracer, McCree, Pharah to get back into the matchup. We also do see buffs to McCree and Junkrat coming into this meta as well. So we do have a chance to see, hopefully,
some DPS
returning.
Right.
To me, though, it's been GOAT for so long. If you've been a DPS one trick you're the best McCree in North America, and everyone is playing GOATs. What do you do?
You're forced to go into a tank. There's no question. You have to follow the GOAT comp, so you're forced to go into a tank. Now, going back to the Overwatch League, there are a few teams that I want to keep track of.
Sure.
So first of all, the New York Excelsior.
Of course.
They were the #1 team in the last stage for the entire stage.
No question. Yeah.
Until they were eliminated extremely early in playoffs. So I want to keep an eye out to see how that loss will transition into stage 2. And also Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah.
Now everyone's going to be telling me, but why Shanghai Dragons? They're the lowest bottom
People
team
are talking about them.
Yeah, but they are talking about it. But you know, after they finished their losing streak, they got rid of it. Now they got their first win. They probably could think they got their third win. I think I don't remember clearly. But now we're going to see if this new Shanghai Dragon, you know, out of the losing streak, can now match up to the new stage.
Yeah, I think my eyes though, my underdog, if yours is going to be Shanghai Dragons, is Los Angeles Valiant. I mean, they were not doing very great in stage 1, didn't even make playoffs. However, recently we found out that they fired their head coach Moon, which could bode well for the team depending on who they bring into the organization to try to reset it. We also have to question some of the decisions that they made during stage 1. They took their best player and benched him because he knew the game too well and his teammates couldn't keep up, so he was dying individually. You don't take LeBron out of the Lakers because he's faster than everyone else. You have the team play around LeBron and allow him to do what LeBron does. So to me, that just seems like an outrageous idea that you would bench your best player just because the rest of your players can't keep up. Get better players. Have him teach his players how to catch up. And certainly I'm oversimplifying. I'm absolutely armchair coaching right here. But Valiant, come on, guys. Come on. Los Angeles native here. You got to be able to get us up there.
Now, before we move on, now I want to take a look at from the last playoff, the 2 top teams, which is the Vancouver Titans and the San Francisco Shock.
Yeah.
Now, we all knew that San Francisco Shock were the underdogs in that story. We were thinking that they were going to take the whole series from Vancouver Titans because it was just a back and forth playoff game. But now we're going into a new stage. How do you think that the San Francisco Shock, coming in after losing a close series to Vancouver Titans, what do you think what is the direction coming into the next stage?
I mean, we've known that San Francisco Shock have had so many talented DPS players for so time, and we had this conversation a little bit earlier. What do you do if you're a good DPS player in a GOAT meta? You play GOAT. Well, now the meta's changing. San Francisco Shock are already one of the top teams. They've got talented DPS players. I think the stars are starting to align for this team, and that we're going to see them start to just traject upward very, very quickly. Because if, for example, I'm the best McCree in I'm not actually, but if I were the best McCree in North America, I continue to play McCree in quick play. I continue to maintain that status. I don't allow those skills to drop away. And now that the meta is rolling back and we are seeing the buffs to McCree and Junkrat, we are seeing DPS potentially become more viable with the armor changes, San Francisco Shock look like they could be a big threat. Looking at Vancouver Titans though, I don't know how the projected meta change is going to affect them. This is a team that is reckless. This is a team that is the best defensive team in the league. Their defense is a little questionable, but with the meta change, I honestly can't predict. Because it depends on what DPS ends up becoming favorable, right? If you have offensive pushing DPS like Junkrat become the new meta, then I think the Titans succeed. If you have defensive DPS like Widow or McCree, then maybe we start to see the Titans drop down a little bit more.
Yeah, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But with the new stage, it's gonna be right now. It's so unpredictable right now.
Exactly. We're all gonna be watching this weekend.
We're all gonna be watching this weekend for sure. For sure.
But hey, that's our discussion for the LCS and the Overwatch League. Of course, the LEC also are having their semifinals as of the time of filming this. You should be getting a chance to, depending on when we get this video out, either watch the semifinals or watch the recap for the first round of the semifinals. And on Saturday, the LEC second round of semifinals will also continue with G2 versus Origin.
Yes.
But that's going to do it for us.
Yes, that'll do it for us here at the Daily HUD.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Dom over here on the Esports channel.
I'm Robin.
And be sure to like and subscribe for more daily updates on esports and gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. GG.